Hello! Tungkol sa defense mechanisms ang video na to, I have decided to use Taglish para mas madali maintindihan at para mas informal ang lecture. Ano bang defense mechanisms? They are unconscious psychological processes used to protect the ego against anxiety-producing thoughts and feelings. Unconscious, ibig sabihin, yung tao na gumagamit ng defense mechanisms, hindi siya aware na ginagamit niya ito. Psychological processes kasi ito ay nangyayari sa ating isip. Used to protect the ego. Bakit kailangan i-protect ang ego? Kasi napaka-importante, ito ang in contact with reality, ito ang nagme-mediate between the id and the superego. Pag nag-breakdown ng ego, grabe ang mangyayari sa atin, wala na tayong contact with reality at maglalabo-labo na ang id at ang superego. Against anxiety-producing thoughts and feelings, kasi yung anxiety ay harmful para sa atin pag naging severe at natre-threaten ang ego. Kaya kailangan ma-protect ang ego by decreasing anxiety. Kaya nga ang tawag din dito sa mga defense mechanisms na to ay ego defense mechanisms. Can defense mechanisms harm us? The answer is yes. Very ironic kasi pang-protect dapat yan. Pero may mga defense mechanisms na in themselves are already harmful. Tapos, pag ginamit mo ang defense mechanisms excessively, pwede rin niya maging harmful kasi instead of confronting the problem, tinatakasan mo lang yung mga problema. Kaya hindi nasosolve yung problema. To facilitate the discussion of defense mechanisms, I have grouped them into sets. Ang first group ay blocking. Binablock kung anuman ang nagkakos ng anxiety. Kasama dito yung repression, suppression, denial, rationalization, fantasy, and intellectualization. Okay, simulan natin sa repression. This is blocking what is anxiety producing by forgetting. And this is unconscious and unintentional. So, ibig sabihin, nakalimutan. Example, a child who was abused by a parent has no memory of the event. Nakalimutan na niya yung abuse sa kanya. Kaya anong epekto nito? Hindi tataas ang kanyang anxiety kasi hindi naman siya aware kung anong nangyari sa kanya in the past. Sa suppression, meron ding forgetting. Kaya lang ito ay conscious or intentional. Kaya ito ay kinalimutan. Example, a student who is battered by his parents' constant fighting, nagiging anxious siya, so he decides not to think about it while reviewing for an exam. So, parang sinasabi niya sa sarili niya, hindi ko muna isipin yan, saka ko na lang isipin yan pag natapos na yung exam ko. Ano naman ang denial? This is blocking what is anxiety-producing by refusing to accept reality. Hindi tinatanggap ang katotohanan. Example, a mother who lost her son in a sea tragedy a year ago still waits for him to come home. So, hindi niya tinatanggap yung katotohanan na patay na yung kanyang anak. Actually, ang denial is usually what is used when there is a loss. Pag namatayan ka, hindi mo agad natatanggap yun. Makikita mo kunwari sa mga lamay, diba? Usually hindi masyadong umiiyak eh. O yung iba nga, hindi talaga umiiyak, nakikipag-joke pa na kung ano-ano mga ginagawa, ang mga concerns niya, o yung mga bisita, may pagkain na ba, yung mga flowers, saan ilalagay, etc. etc. Kailan lang usually nag-iiyakan na pag ibinababa na yung kabaong doon sa hukay kasi doon nagsisink in na yung reality. Kaya nawawala na yung denial. Ginagamit ito kasi hindi pa ready yung tao to face reality. Sa rationalization naman, this is blocking what is anxiety-producing by justifying one's actions with false or half-true but seemingly logical excuses. Keyword, peke yung reason. Example, a woman who likes wearing expensive jewelry says that she buys them because they are good investments. Ano ang totoong reason kung bakit siya bumibili ng jewelry? Kasi gusto niya magsuot ng jewelry na yon. Pero anong sinasabi niya? Good investment ang jewelry. So, totoong good investment, pero hindi ito ang totoong dahilan kung bakit siya bumibili. Ang fantasy naman, this is blocking reality by retreating into one's imagination. Example, a child with no friends imagines himself to be the most popular person in school. Habang nagpa-fantasize siya, hindi pumapasok yung reality sa imagination niya. Para sa kanya, siya yung pinaka-popular, kaya ngayon, ang epekto ay bumababa ang kanyang anxiety. Sa intellectualization, ang nabla-block lang ay feelings, and this is done by focusing on thoughts. Example, after a woman was raped, she went to the police station and calmly gave a detailed account of what happened. So, kalmadong-kalmado siya, parang walang feelings. Pero, lahat ng mga details ay naibigay niya. Mag-recap tayo. Repression. Ano na nga yun? Nakalimutan. Suppression, kinalimutan. Kasi di ba ang repression is unconscious, suppression is conscious. Denial, Hindi totoo yan. Rationalization, kasi, tapos nagbibigay ng fake na excuse. Fantasy, daydreaming. Intellectualization, thoughts lang, walang feelings. Dito naman sa second group of defense mechanisms, this involves replacing at kasama dito ang substitution, sublimation, and reaction formation. Substitution involves replacing the original unattainable or unacceptable goal with something that is attainable or acceptable. In other words, kung hindi pwede yung original, edi pumili ka ng iba. Example, a man who is in love with Taylor Swift marries someone who has a slight resemblance to her. So, hindi niya nakuha Taylor Swift, so medyo kahawig naman yung napangasawa niya. Para maging successful ang substitution, kailangan yung replacement ay merong similarity doon sa original object. Sublimation is replacing the original unacceptable intended action or channeling unacceptable urges into something that is socially acceptable. So first, meron siyang unacceptable urge. Second, meron siyang gustong gawin. This is also unacceptable. Pero dahil unacceptable yan, nakakataas siya ng anxiety, ano ang kanyang piniling gawin, meron na lang siyang action na pwede niyang ilabas yung unacceptable urge pero through something that is socially acceptable. For example, a man who has strong hostile urges and likes hurting others, di ba, unacceptable yan. Anong ginawa niya? Naging professional boxer siya. Sa professional boxing, pwede kang manakit ng opponent mo. Kaya, nagkakaroon ng sublimation. Reaction formations replacing anxiety-producing thoughts and feelings with the opposite. So, itong pinakatatandaan ninyo sa reaction formation, opposite ang nagiging result. Example, a plain-looking boy is attracted to a very pretty girl. That is anxiety-producing kasi ang ganda ng babae, siya naman hindi gwapo. So, anong pwedeng mangyari? Hindi siya papasado sa babae na yon. Dahil nakaka-produce siya ng anxiety, anong kanyang ginawa? Nag-develop siya ng opposite na feeling. Now, he finds her irritating and he bullies her. O, recap. Paano matatandaan? Substitution. Di pwede? O, sige, ba na lang. Sublimation. Bad, pero ilalabas ko in a good way. Reaction formation. OMG, ang bad ng thoughts ko. Sige, yung opposite na lang. The third group of defense mechanisms is making up, under which we have compensation and undoing. Sa compensation, yung tao ay merong real or perceived weakness, tapos bumabawi siya by overachieving in another area. Example, a student who is below average in academics excels in sports. Weak siya sa academics pero nag-overachieve naman siya sa sports, kaya nakabawi. Undoing is making up for an inappropriate action by doing an action that attempts to negate the earlier one. So dito, dalawang actions. Action number 1 is inappropriate. Action number 2 tries to erase the action number 1. Example, a mother yelled at her child. So, nag-guilty siya. Dahil dito, an hour later, she prepared his favorite snack. O, diba? Nakabawi siya. Or recap ulit. Compensation, bumawi sa weakness. Undoing, bumawi sa mali. The next group of defense mechanisms is taking in. Dito meron tayong ina-absorb coming from another person. Kasama dito ang introjection at identification. Introjection is taking in the ideas, values, or beliefs of another person. This is often an authority figure and making them your own. At hindi ka aware ng ginagawa mo to kasi nga nasa unconscious level eh. For example, a father repeatedly tells his son, "Boys don't cry." The son, now an adult, loses his entire family in an accident, but he does not cry. Ang tatandaan nyo rin dito sa introjection para makatulong na ma-identify ninyo na ito yung ginagamit ng defense mechanism. Isipin ninyo, voice. This is the voice of another person na parang nagsasalita sa iyo at sinasabi niya kung ano ang dapat mong gawin, kung anong dapat na maging ikaw. Ito yung na-absorb mo na value. So, voice of another person, often an authority figure, is as though this voice is talking to you and you absorb the value of that person. Identifications taking in the personalities such as thoughts, feelings, goals, behaviors, mannerisms, reactions, and traits of another person. So, becoming like another person. Ito yung nangyayari sa hero worship. Nagiging kagaya ka ng iyong hero, pero hindi ito conscious imitation, ha? pwede magsimula ito as conscious imitation, pero pag sinabi natin identification as a defense mechanism, this is occurring at the unconscious level. Example, as a girl grows older, she thinks, speaks, and acts more and more like her mother. Kaya ito usually ang basis kung bakit nagiging kagaya tayo ng ating parent of the same sex. Pero hindi lahat ng identification ay positive. Meron ding negative na identification pag nag-identify ka sa isang tao na pangit yung mga characteristics. As for example, bakit naging kriminal ang isang tao? Kasi kaya pala, dahil nag-identify siya doon sa mga family members niya na kriminal din. Meron ding tinatawag na identification with the aggressor. Ito yung nangyayari pag ikaw ay abuse. Instead na magalit ka doon sa abuser mo at tinitingnan mo na siya ay kalaban, nag-identify ka sa kanya at tinitingnan mo na siya ay positive. Ang tawag dito ay Stockholm Syndrome. May nangyari kasi noon sa isang bangko na hinold up, tapos things went wrong, kaya ang ginawa ng hold-upper, hinostage yung mga employees. They were held for 6 days. At the end of the 6 days, natalo na yung hold-upper, na-release yung mga hostages, pero yung mga hostages, instead na mag-file sila ng case at mag-testify sila against the hostage taker, anong ginawa nila? Nag-raise pa sila ng funds para sa defense nung hostage taker sa korte. Kasi nag-identify sila. Ito yung tawag ay Stockholm Syndrome na parang hindi mo rin lang naman matatalo yung kalaban mo ay maging kagaya ka na ng iyong kalaban o pumabor ka na sa iyong kalaban. Recap ulit. Sa introjection, voice ng iba naging akin na. Sa identification, same na ako sa'yo. The next group of defense mechanisms involves using others. At kasama dito ang displacement and projection. Sa displacement, paano mo ginagamit ang ibang tao o ibang bagay para bumaba ang iyong anxiety? Venting a negative feeling to someone or something else. Ibig sabihin, ibinubuntun mo sa iba yung negative feeling na yon. Bakit hindi mo na-express diretso kung saan nag-occur yung feeling na yon? Kasi hindi safe. Kaya humahanap ka ng ibang tao o ibang bagay para mailabas mo yung iyong feeling. Example, a child is scolded by his mother, hindi siya makalaban sa nanay niya. Nagagalit siya, so in turn, ibinuntun niya doon sa pusa niya. Kawawang pusa, wala namang kinalaman, inosente. It was just at the wrong place at the wrong time, pero sa kanya napunta yung mga galit ng bata na yon. Projection is assigning to others what is unacceptable in oneself. Meron kang hindi gusto sa sarili mo, hindi mo matanggap, so ina-attribute mo sa ibang tao. Example, a wife is attracted to a male coworker. Nakaka-guilty yan, di ba? So, hindi niya matanggap. So, when her husband talks about a female coworker, she accuses him of being attracted to the other woman. Naging kasalanan ngayon nung husband niya, siya naman talaga ang merong attraction sa iba. O, recap. Displacement, ibinuntun sa iba. Projection, siya yan, hindi ako. Group 6 of defense mechanisms is finding a safe stage. Included here are regression and fixation. Regression is going back to an earlier stage of development. Example, a 3-year-old demands to be fed from a bottle when his baby sister is born. Kasi threat sa kanya yung baby sister, nakakataas ng anxiety yan. Kaya kailangan bumalik siya doon sa pagkabata kasi mas secure ang feeling niya pag parang infant siya. Ang fixation naman is getting stuck in a developmental stage instead of proceeding to the next one. Example, a person with unresolved conflicts in the oral stage eats, drinks, and smokes excessively. So parang baby pa rin kasi oral activities pa rin ang pinagkakaabalahan niya. Recap uli, regression, bumalik sa pagkabata. Fixation, hindi nakaalis. The seventh group of defense mechanisms involves expressing anxiety through the body. Kasama dito ang conversion and somatization. Ano ang conversion? This is expressing anxiety as an impaired sensory or motor function. Plus, ito yung napaka-importante na element, appearing not to be bothered by the impairment. Example, a man who's having second thoughts about his upcoming wedding develops paralysis. You might be thinking, paano makakadecrease ng anxiety yun? Na-paralyze na nga siya. Diba pag ikaw kunwari nagising ka, bigla ka na lang hindi makagalaw. Di lalo kang anxious, diba? Magpapanik ka pa nga eh. Itong tao na to ay hindi siya bothered ng kanyang impairment. So, parang baliwala sa kanya. So, nagagamit niya itong impairment niya para maka-escape from the anxiety-producing situation. Ano ba itong anxiety-producing situation na to? Ito yung kanyang upcoming wedding. Diba? Hindi tuloy ang wedding. Kailangan magpagaling muna siya. Sa somatization naman, ang physical symptom is autonomic. Example, a student experiences diarrhea whenever a math exam is scheduled. O pwedeng headache, pwedeng abdominal pain, yan ang somatization. O recap, conversion, sensory or motor symptoms yan. Somatization, other symptoms. So ito ang defense mechanisms. Watch my other videos. Meron akong quiz at meron ding drills on defense mechanisms.